There comes a moment in life when heaven itself begins to whisper secrets into your heart. You might not see it, but the angels have been working behind the scenes, orchestrating something beyond your imagination. For months, perhaps even years, prayed for a sign, a confirmation, or a breakthrough in love. And heaven is saying now is the time to listen. The message isn't just about romance, it's about divine timing, restoration, and purpose. When God sets something in motion, no human hand can delay it. The angels are saying, "You won't believe who wants to marry you." And the truth is not just about a person, it's about a destiny that has been written long before you were even born. Sometimes in life, God moves in ways that completely overturn our expectations. We look for love in familiar places. We imagine it will come through the people we already know, or we assume it must arrive in a predictable form. But heaven delights in revealing blessings through the unexpected. When the angels say, "You won't believe who wants to marry you," it's because God has written a story that your mind could not have written on its own. You may have crossed paths with this person before, perhaps briefly or in a season where neither of you were ready. Maybe you overlooked them, or they were hidden in plain sight. But God saw what you couldn't. While you were busy trying to understand what went wrong with others, heaven was aligning what was right for you behind the scenes. There are times when God hides His greatest gifts in ordinary moments. The person He's chosen may not fit your list, may not match your past experiences, but they carry a spiritual connection that your soul will recognize. You see, God doesn't just prepare a spouse, He prepares two hearts. He molds one through patience and another through transformation until both are ready to reflect His purpose together. The angels are saying that the unexpected connection is not a mistake. It is divine design. Someone whose name you might have once dismissed or whose presence you didn't think much of. But God is revealing them now because the season has shifted. In your waiting, God wasn't silent. He was selective. He didn't let just anyone approach your heart because not everyone could handle the destiny attached to it. You are not waiting in vain. Every delay was a divine filter, removing what wasn't meant for you and preserving what was. The one God has chosen may have been going through their own wilderness, learning humility, faith, and surrender. Heaven has been shaping both of you simultaneously so that when you meet again, or for the first time, it will be at the right spiritual temperature. You've wondered why certain people came close only to disappear. You've questioned why connections that seemed promising faded away. But the truth is, God was protecting you from counterfeits. The angels saw the tears you cried when love seemed out of reach, and they whispered to heaven, "They are still believing." And heaven replied, "Then prepare what's real. You may not realize it, but even your disappointments were divine appointments in disguise. Each one was leading you closer to the person God chose, the one who would see your soul, not just your surface. When the revelation comes, you might be astonished. You might even say, 'How could it be them?' But your spirit will recognize the peace that surrounds their presence. You'll know this is no accident because the connection will carry the fragrance of divine order. There won't be confusion or chaos. Instead, there will be clarity and calm God specializes in surprises that restore your faith. And the angels are witnesses, rejoicing as heaven reveals what has been hidden in plain sight. The one who wants to marry you may be someone who once watched from afar, someone whose heart God guarded until now. They may have prayed silently for you without your knowledge. They may have been drawn to you but kept their distance because the timing wasn't yet blessed. But now heaven says, it's time. The waiting has produced wisdom, and the separation has produced strength. What was once unseen will now be undeniable. This revelation will not only surprise you, it will humble you, because when you see how intricately God orchestrated every delay, every detour, and every disappointment to bring you to this moment, you'll understand that His hand has been guiding you all along. You won't believe who it is, but heaven has known it from the beginning. While you've been praying and wondering when love would finally come into your life, heaven has been quietly working on both hearts at the same time. You are not the only one who has been feeling the pull of destiny, the longing that something greater is on the horizon. The angels have been guiding two separate journeys toward one divine meeting point. While you were learning to trust again, they were learning to love rightly. While you were being healed from disappointment, they were being awakened from spiritual sleep. Both of you have been walking different paths that were never meant to stay apart forever. God, in His perfect wisdom, has been molding your hearts to meet not in brokenness, but in readiness. Many times, we assume love happens by chance, but heaven does not operate on coincidence. The angels are the unseen messengers who protect, redirect, and position hearts according to divine timing. There were moments you felt forgotten, moments you thought your prayers were lost in silence, but every word you whispered was recorded in heaven. And the person meant for you has been stirred by those very prayers, even without realizing it. Something inside of them has been shifting, a gentle tug at the heart reminding them that there is someone out there they can't stop thinking about, even if they tried. The angels have been softening their heart, cleansing their spirit, and removing the distractions that once blurred their discernment. Felt an unusual peace lately, as if God is saying, rest, I'm working. That peace is confirmation that heaven has already begun the alignment. The angels are moving circumstances, changing environments, and creating opportunities for your paths to cross at the appointed time. It may come suddenly, a message, a meeting, a moment that feels ordinary but is divinely orchestrated. They've been preparing both of you so that when your eyes meet again, there will be no confusion, only recognition. It won't feel forced or rushed. It will feel like coming home. There were seasons when both of you had to be separated for the sake of growth. God allowed certain people to walk away so your focus could return to Him. He allowed distance to create dependence on His will, not your emotions. The angels have been protecting you both from premature connections that would have sabotaged the promise. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually divine preservation. Heaven knew that if the two of you met before you were spiritually ready, you would have missed the purpose behind the union. The one heaven is preparing for you has been tested in the fire just like you. They've been humbled, refined, and made aware of their need for God's guidance. They are learning to love not from ego, but from grace. Angels have whispered into their spirit during quiet nights, urging them to heal, to forgive, to pray, to become the person who can stand beside you. You might not see these changes yet, but heaven sees every transformation. Every moment of surrender has been another step closer to you. There's a divine rhythm to what's happening. Heaven doesn't rush destiny, it perfects it. And now that both hearts are aligning, angels are rejoicing because the connection is about to manifest. When you finally meet or reconnect, sense a spiritual familiarity that words cannot explain. It will feel as though heaven itself has breathed peace over the encounter. You'll realize that all along it wasn't delay, it was divine direction. You were being protected from heartbreak while being prepared for a love that carries eternal purpose. The angels have guided you both to this point with patience and precision. Every prayer, every tear, every lonely night has been part of a greater plan. The guidance of heaven has not only been about bringing two people together, it's been about shaping two souls to serve God's will together. What you've been feeling in your spirit is not imagination, it's preparation. And when the appointed time comes, you will see that every step, every silence, and every sign was leading you straight into the arms of the one heaven chose for you. There comes a moment when God begins to touch what was once broken and breathe life back into it. You may have thought that chapter of your story was over, that the pain you carried was proof that it could never be revived. But heaven does not operate according to human logic. When the angels speak of redemption, they are talking about restoration that goes beyond apology or memory. It is the kind of healing that only God Himself can perform. What once seemed shattered beyond repair becomes a testimony of divine mercy. The person heaven has chosen may have been part of your past, but God never stopped working in both of your lives. The distance, the silence, and the heartbreak were not the end. They were the preparation. God's way of redeeming something broken is not to simply put the pieces back together the way they were. He reshapes them into something even stronger.